Alright, guys. Hi there. Welcome. Alright. Oh, that is not going to be where I need it to be. We're going to need you over here. Because we want to turn off game capture and turn on. There we go. Display capture. That's what I want. Okay. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Tabletop Tuesday. And before we get into what is going on for this week, which I need to also send out a few announcements real quick. I need to make a couple announcements. For one, our sponsor for this foreseeable future, Shockbite Gaming Servers, they do not. They do not. If I could talk today, would be a wonderful thing. They have a variety of gaming servers. They can host Minecraft, Ark Survival Involved. They have Rust, and they have Valheim. They're working on Arma 3. They're working on Hytale. They said they'll have this out. It's something they're working on. Their server start is as low as $2.50 a month. $2.50 a month. That's US dollars. And right now, with the Caves and Cliffs update on Minecraft, Shockbite is offering a 20% lifetime discount. So check them out. Please use our link in the little doobly-doo down below on Twitch. It'll help us out. Alright? Second one is, if you wish to continue supporting us through whatever methods you so desire, you can check out our Patreon. You can donate bits on Twitch. You can subscribe to us on Twitch. Any of these methods go a long way to help building our community and bring out more of this content to you all, in a faster method. Alright? Alright, with that being said, let us discuss what we're discussing today. Alright. And that is, first things first, I gotta do the quick, hey, everybody, we're streaming thing. Because a lot of people were like, wait, what? Because I just got home. We were celebrating today. We just purchased the land and the house that we're going to be moving to later this year. We signed all the paperwork. So, huzzah! We have it now. So, it is a beautiful thing. And we finished the paperwork. And so now, there is that, well, okay, give me a second. Can you join us? What? About, okay, give me a second. Join us to music. Give me a second. Tonight's topic will be World of Darkness. Give me a second. I just typed this, didn't I? Topic will be World of Darkness. Its lore. Oh yeah, there we go. World of Darkness. Its lore. Blah blah blah. Stream begins. Blah blah blah. Boom. Perfect. So I take care of that. So doing games. We're not doing that in there. Chilltown. I think I had that in. There you go. And I'm not gonna sneeze. I swear I'm gonna feel like I'm gonna sneeze like my head off here in a second. I hate it when I feel like that. It's like, it's like, come on, no, don't do this. Ow, ow, ow. But it is what it is. Come on. All right. Oh, excuse me. Oh, damn. Well, apologize. So let's talk about World of Darkness, shall we? So, World of Darkness is a game published by White Wolf Publishing. White Wolf Publishing is a subsidiary company now. It's owned by CCP Games, and Paradox Interactive is the current company that owns it. So it's owned by Paradox. It's the guys who do Stellaris, the guys who do... What other games does Paradox do at this time? God damn, these guys do a lot of games. I know Stellaris. Hands down, I know that one. Games. They do a lot of grand strategy games. I know that. Stellaris, Europa Universalis, Crusader Kings, Hearts of Iron. but that is the big thing they're known for, is doing grand strategy games. Well, they used to be owned by CCP Games, and CCP Games, I think, was, if memory serves, yeah, they owned EVE Online. So EVE Online used to own these guys for a while, and then they just like, nah, I don't care. But since from 1991 till 2006, they were independent, and these guys still exist. All right, and they're still kind of trugging along. They're doing their thing, and the thing that these guys focused on was several properties. One was World of Darkness. Another was Exalted. That was one of their big things, was basically Exalted. And then the other was the Trinity universe, which was superheroes. It was Aberrant and Adventure, which is like 1920s pulp fiction comic hero stuff. And that was mainly their shtick. They had a few others. They had like a Street Fighter game. They had a weird Pendragon game, which I really never got to touch. And then there was the really cool kind of game that was called Scion, which was like, you're the child of a god. But like, you're also, your other parent was immortal. So, like, very Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief kind of mentality kind of thing going for it. It was really interesting, kind of, what was going on. I was like, okay, that's kind of weird, but go you. Like, I usually just kind of shrugged it off, and White Wolf did its own thing, and it was like, Nate, you guys do you. And we just called it a day. Now, they differentiated themselves from it because they wanted to not be the same as D&D. They wanted to separate themselves from D&D. So they used a different system. All right? And that system was the D10 system. All right? And so they have this storytelling system, and it was like all D10, and it was the number of dots you have in something determines how many dice you get to roll, and there was a difficulty, and that difficulty determined what number you needed on that die to figure out how you succeeded. and so it was very interesting to see how that worked out. And sometimes this would work very well, and sometimes this would get very broken. And I mean really, really fucking broken. Like, oh my god. Like, holy shit, dude. Like, it was like, wait, what? Now, it depended on the system, determines how broken it got. For example, World of Darkness wasn't as bad on the broken scale as others. Like, for example, Scion and was really bad about it. Like, you can sometimes be rolling like 20, 30 dice about it. Aberrant was just the same way. It was like, hi, here's like 10 pounds of D10s. Boom! Fucking roll them all. Go! It was like, damn! It was, you would just look at it and be like, what the fuck is this? You would just be like, just looking at this going, okay, damn, go. It just, there were times where, like, especially if you had storytellers that were mixing the systems, like mixing them back and forth, you would get just redonkulous, and I mean fucking redonkulous, just rolls. and it would just be like, wait, what the hell is this? Like, seriously. Like, why? Why would you do this? Alright? So, White Wolf started in 1991. And with 1991, they came out with a few things with World of Darkness. And I think World of Darkness was some of the first stuff, if memory serves. I want to say it was. I want to say the old system. Does it have the old system on here? Are they not going to talk about their old system? It doesn't look like it. You guys are not going to discuss it, are you? Yeah. Oh, here we go. The old system. Please tell me you got this on here. Yep, 1991. Okay, so Vampire the Masquerade was the first one. That's what I thought. Alright, so you have old World of Darkness and you have new World of Darkness. When I discussed the two. Or I'm going to forever, from now on, I'm going to refer to it as WOD. W-O-D. Alright, you had old WOD, new WOD. Alright, we got the two. So bear with me here. Old WOD, we had Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf the Apocalypse, Mage the Ascension, Wraith the Oblivion, Changeling the Dreaming, Kindred of the East, Hunter the Reckoning, Mummy the Resurrection, Demon the Fallen, and Orpheus. Never touched Orpheus. I have no clue what the hell that is. Okay? And I never touched Wraith myself. I have zero experience with Wraith. But I have touched the others, so I know what they are. Alright? So let's talk about these. In World of Darkness, the best way to describe World of Darkness is, how do I put it? In D&D, you're the hero. Your goal is to kind of be that kind of superhero. Oh, I wouldn't say superhero. I would say, like, almost near Arthurian legend hero, where you're trying to fight off the monsters. You're trying to kill the demons, fight the dragons, things of that nature. World of Darkness kind of just goes, no, we don't do that here. You are the monsters. Somewhat. Good examples of things that inspired World of Darkness, in my opinion, were like a lot of Anne Rice novels, Bram Stoker's Dracula, the original Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, not the whole movie version. I am talking the original, hey, this is the crazy monster, version type stuff. Alright? I'm talking about that. That's what I'm talking about. Okay? So we're going to go to this real quick so that way I can talk and have that. Because we don't need the screen up too much. I'll pull it up when I need it. Alright? So let me pull up. We'll go pull up Vampire the Masquerade. And we're going to pull up a picture if we can. Hey, Vampire the Masquerade. Come on. Picture, please. Image. Alright. Yeah, as you can see, if you look up Vampire the Masquerade, you get a lot of crazy pictures. Because there's now video games and stuff, and there's a lot of stuff based on it. Let me see if I can find the book. I want the image of the book. There we go. We'll go with the book. Can I pull the image up in a new tab? There we go. So, there we go. That's the book. That's what the book looked like. It was simple. It was kind of basic, and so on and so forth. If you're playing in a World of Darkness game, in Old WOD, and you're a human, you're gonna have a bad day. Because humans died a lot. You were fucking squishy. You were fucking squishy, squish, squish. And dear Christ, did it fucking go bad for you. Like, it sucked. Alright? So, humans usually weren't that much of a threat unless you had either a lot of equipment or a lot of you humans. A lot of you. Alright? Like a mob. Alright? Now, that's just the way it is. Now, the way WOD works is nothing is supposed to be happy. Nothing is supposed to go well. the whole, that light at the end of the tunnel is supposed to be, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. You're supposed to be happy. There's always hope. In World of Darkness, in both New WoD and Old WoD, the light at the end of the tunnel is a goddamn train. It's there to hit you and kill you. There is no happiness. There is no joy. There's only more suffering. That's kind of the name of the game. And the whole point of the story is for you to just bear through it and get through it. And go through the story. And their journey is the story. So it is grimdark. Now, is it as grimdark as, say, Warhammer 40k? Yes and no. It's grimdark in a different way. And I'll explain when we get to Warhammer 40k another week. Because that is another kettle of fish. Oh boy. So, the best way I describe World of Darkness is, it is grimdark emo. There's a lot of emo tones in it. It has a lot of emo overtones to it. But it's not entirely emo. There's some punk in there. There's definitely some punk influences in it. And overtones. But it is primarily that kind of a setup. A good way to describe it is, if you ever seen Queen of the Damned, that's a good version of describing World of Darkness. Very well done way of describing it. Underworld, the Underworld series movies describe World of Darkness fairly well. Those kind of settings work. Because, unlike Blade, for instance, where in Blade, if you get bit by a vampire, you become a vampire. Or like in Buffy, if you get bit by a vampire, you become a vampire. In World of Darkness, that's not the case. It's like, with a lot of Anne Rice stuff, you have to drink the blood of a vampire to become a vampire. And this is the case with Vampire the Masquerade. A vampire has to willingly give you their blood to turn you into one of them. Now, with that being said, let us discuss the clans. Oh boy. Here's the fun thing. Or at least the base. Let's discuss, before we get into clans, let's discuss the base storyline of Old WoD Vampire and how it sometimes has some issue. Now, Old WoD had a little bit of an issue, and that was it relied heavily on Christian history. And I mean heavily on it. For example, the vampire creation story there was the story of Cain and Abel in the Bible, and Cain slayed Abel. Well, in Vampire the Masquerade, God cursed Cain, boom, with eternal life, but also cursed him with eternal suffering, and turned him into the first vampire. And he went out and created a bunch of other vampires, and they created more vampires, and it's gone several generations down the line, and they've created clans and all kinds of crazy shit, and you are one of these descendants of Cain's children. That is literally the creation story of vampires. It is biblical shit. Alright? That's how it works. And that's kind of how it behaves. You have kind of a morality system called humanity. The less humanity you have, the closer you are to going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs crazy.
So what bullshit did I miss?
Oh, okay. So you ready for... I'm going to have to explain a little bit here. You want to come back over here with a chair?
I'm going to be sitting on the couch and making hot water right now.
Okay. So, I described World of Darkness...
a good part of it.
Alright, so you heard me describe World of Darkness as emo.
Wrist cutting bad, yeah.
Yeah, wrist cutting bad emo. And I said they also... Old WoD went into a lot of Christian history.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, how Old Blood vampires started was...
Children of Cain.
Yeah, they're the children of Cain. Alright.
I remember that because I read the book.
Yeah, so you've caught up relatively where I'm at. Okay,
I heard
good.
part of it with when I was talking to my mom.
Okay, so you're caught up.
They say congratulations, and they say thank you for not posting this everywhere because of your sister, but we understand. Thank you for being understanding. It's like, yeah, I don't want to be the director of that.
Yeah, we don't want to be dicks. Got it. Alright, so fun things with the game system. So they have a morality system. Your belly's showing.
I don't care.
Okay.
I'm trying to get my hair tied up.
So the lower your humanity is, the closer you are to the beast. The more the base you are, you can do what's called wassail, which is a constant frenzy where you basically go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and you kill people like crazy. Alright? Now, that's normally how the system's supposed to work. Later on, they released books, adding something called paths. And these paths basically said, hey, you know that thing called humanity? Yeah, screw humanity. Let's do something else instead.
More broken bullshit, go.
And you're like, well, what else can we do? And it's like, well, let's give you alternate morality systems to work with and say, hey, you can do whatever the fuck you want as long as it's within this morality system. And go to town.
I.e. more broken bullshit.
Yeah, it's basically, hey, let's act like as much of a asshole scumbag as humanly possible and not suffer any consequences. Or as little consequences as possible. Alright? That's kind of how it broke down. It was like, okay, that sounds like fun. Now, vampires have two... What's the word I'm looking for? They're not called clans.
Major groups.
They're major groups. I just had the word in my head, too.
Democrat versus Republican kind of crap.
Give me a second. Sects. They have two major sects.
Again, a religious term.
Once again, a religious term because, they couldn't get away from religion, apparently. And those sects are they had two major sects and then two minor sects. Alright? The two major sects are the Camarilla and the Sabbat. Alright? The Camarilla are basically... The guys are kind of similar to humans. They want to, kind of do their thing. And kind of just go like, hey, guys, what's going on? Da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, whatever. Sorry, I had a message real quick. They're the ones that want to kind of coexist with humanity, but not like in an X-Men way. More of like, hey, hey, we want to not be noticed by people because people are kind of fucking crazy and we don't want to get, burned to death because they remember, the Inquisition and the burning times and they're like, yeah, fuck that. Yeah, fuck that noise. So let's hide amongst the humans and kind of coexist with them a little bit and just eat them on occasion, but not kill them. They're our food source, so let's just chill out with that. And it's like, okay, that works. It's cool. Let's do that. Let's be reasonable. That's the Camarilla. Then we have the Sabbat. Alright? The Sabbat are semi-religious, a little bit. And they're like, fuck the Camarilla. Fuck their elders. And
we're gonna do what we want. Just
human beings are cattle. Let's eat the fuck out of them. And let's go fucking crazy and kill people. Because that sounds fucking awesome. Let's fucking go.
Stereotypical sociopath.
Like, holy fucking shit. They are, like, voodoo crazy fucks. And originally the Sabbat were just written as villains. You weren't supposed to be able to play as them. Ever. Like, it was never supposed to be a thing. Alright? Third sect was the Independents. They were guys that kind of like, we kind of don't want to associate with anybody. We're just going to kind of do our thing.
We do our own thing. Ignore us, we ignore you.
Yeah, we're kind of small groups, little smatterings of here or there. Like, we'll work with the Camarilla here. We'll kind of ignore the Sabbat there. We kind of don't want to get too involved in politics for the most part. And then you had the Anarchs, which is like, fuck the system. Any system. Just, no.
Rules? What are those?
Alright. And those were the 4 relative sects. Now, there are some minor sects here and there, like, you know, some of the clans have their own groups that they tend to do their own thing. But hey, it is what it is. Later on, the Sabbat got to become a playable group with some books. Do I think this was a wise idea?
Probably not.
Not really. I think, honestly, the people who want to really play these guys, either A, don't play them right, or B, really just want to be assholes that want to set the house on fire and kill everyone.
Just because they can.
Yeah, just because they... Yeah, she's right. Just because they can and they just want to do it.
This sounds like a fun idea.
Alright.
Is this a wise idea? Nope. Do you care? Nope.
So, vampires in this setting. Sunlight still kills your ass.
Just not instantly.
Yeah, for a few seconds. Your ass bursts to flames, and you're like, oh, look, I'm a human torch now. Bye. Wound stake in the heart is not deadly, but it does give you full body paralysis. And then, of course, there's the beast, which means fire makes you go, oh, Christ, I want to run the fuck away from you. I always want to eat, you know, drink blood if I'm low on blood in my system. And I have major anger management issues. Like staggering in some cases.
Major? I'd say catastrophic.
No, they're not as bad as the Hulk, but they're bad. And if they take enough damage, they can enter a death-like sleep called torpor, which, depending on how old they are, depends on how long they're in torpor.
The older you are,
yeah,
the longer you are unconscious.
Yep, the older you are, the longer you're unconscious. She's right. But the downside is, if you take enough damage while you're in torpor, you're going to be dead. Like, forever. You're going to be turned to ash. So that is bad. Also, there's a thing you can do to other vampires, and it's, by the cam, is a no-no. For the Sabbat, it's like, hell the fuck yes. And that's called diablerie. Another religious term, by the way. Which is basically sucking down so much of the blood of another vampire that you literally...
Level and they de-level.
Oh, no, it's not even they de-level. It's you suck out their soul. Yeah. It's apparently that's what it's referred to as. You suck the soul. And you can lower your generation that way. The lower your generation is, the more powerful a vampire you can become. Now, they have to be a lower generation for you for that to actually matter. Otherwise, you're just doing it for the funsies. Alright. Now, the name of the game was Vampire the Masquerade. Now, what the hell is the Masquerade? It's a set of rules to basically make it so that humans don't know your fucking vampiric ass exists. At least for the Camarilla. Because if the humans know your vampiric ass exists, well, that tends to bring torches and pitchforks and swords and shit.
And blowtorches.
At least back in the day. Nowadays, it brings guns and bombs and flamethrowers and rocket launchers and
Pins and panzers and flame tanks.
Yeah. It's very much like, Hans, get the Flammenpanzer. It's like, get the flame tank. The fucking what? Yeah. Get the fucking flame tank. And for people who don't think that exists, it fucking does. There are flamethrower tanks. And every time, like, I used to run this game, every time my players didn't think that the flamethrower tank didn't exist, I pull up pictures that it used to exist in World War II, and it still exists to this day.
It's not as popular of an option.
It's not just a popular an option, but if, hey, militaries realized that vampires existed, it would become a popular option really fucking quick. It's like, oh, hey, these things are weak against fire. Awesome. Let's create an armor-plated vehicle that just spews a fuck ton of napalm. That takes care of the problem real quick.
You're not wrong.
Done.
You are not wrong.
It's like, everything in this building's gonna burn. Bye. Alright. So that is the Masquerade. You break the Masquerade enough times, usually other vampires will go, yeah, buddy, we're just gonna kill you. We're gonna call it a day. We're gonna just sever your head from your shoulders, and you're dead. Night-night. Alright? So I talked about the camera, I talked about the Anarch, I talked about the Sabbat, I talked about the Independence. There is the Nkandu, which are elders who are in pursuit of Galconda, which is apparently transcendence of the damned. Like, it's ascendance to godhood, essentially. Fuck if I know what...
So Dracula on crack.
It, apparently, whatever that is. And then the Tal Mayrat, or the True Black Hand. Fucking hell. Alright. So, let us talk about the clans. Jesus Christ. Alright. Clans. Vampire clans. So, these are what basically your base powers come from. And also your base weakness comes from. Because whatever clan you get embraced into gives you kind of your weakness. But it also gives you kind of your strength. Alright. You got Bruja. Bruja are big. They're... Oh, no,
So your stereotypical jocks.
They're not big, but they're strong. They're fast. And they're very passionate. They also will flip their fucking anger shit at the drop of a fucking hat. Usually any hat. Alright?
So, think football players on steroids rage.
Yeah, they... it was like, hey, a hat hit the ground. Rah! Fuck off! Like, okay. Cool.
Their anger button has no cooldown timer.
Yeah, their anger button does not have a cooldown timer. That is quite accurate. Jesus Christ. They are noble philosophers and warrior poets, but they used to be part of Carthage. And since the loss of that, they've not forgotten that, and they are still pissed about that. Their clan tends to be anti-authoritarian. They're very passionate about everything, which makes them very not really good at resisting, basically, their inner anger issues. So, hurrah. Then we got Gangrel. Gangrel are the animalistic vampires. They like wild... They prefer working with animals than they do other vampires. And this shows in their abilities, where they can grow claws, they can make their eyes kind of glow in the dark.
The druids of the vampire world.
They're kind of the druid. Yeah, that's actually an assessment. If you're a D&D fan, they're druidic, very much. They got a lot of wild shape abilities. They have a lot of animal control abilities. They can like talk to animals, control animals, summon animals, turn into animals. So that's kind of their shtick. The downside is every time they go berserk, or what's called frenzy, they take on an animalistic trait permanently. And those add up.
Quickly.
Yeah, if you're not careful. Then we got the Giovanni. The goddamn motherfucking Giovanni.
That the name does not warn you.
Well, if you can't figure out where they're from the name alone, they're fucking Italian. Alright? Their clan is mainly Italian. And that's not why I say they're goddamn fucking Giovanni. These assholes are necromancers. And that's why I say the fucking Giovanni. Because Jesus Christ, do you want zombies? Because these fuckers have plenty of them. And they're everywhere. Because, god fucking damn it. Ugh.
As you can tell, he really hates the Giovanni.
Yeah, I fucking hate Giovanni. I have not had a good experience with a single player who has played a member of this clan yet. Like, goddamn. Like, the game, Vampire the Masquerade, alright? Because I used to play in both a LARP version and a tabletop version, alright? And I'll explain those after I talk about the clans, the difference between the two. The game itself encourages a level of backstabbing in both versions. I will say that. Like, you have to have a level of trust with your fellow players. Some. But the larger the game gets, the more backstabbing the game gets. Eventually, there is a level of backstabbing. There's a level of cliquishness that does occur, especially in LARPs. I'm going to talk about... I just want to mention that right now. Giovanni players I've run into thus far are the king of fucking backstabs that I've run into. There's only one other clan who has done way better exceptions on the backstabbing than Giovanni's. But they have not been all backstabbers.
This is based off your experience.
This is my experience. This is not a general rule. This is just my experience. Alright, my experience has been Giovanni. Every Giovanni I've run into has been a backstabbing prick. Alright, I've not run into a female Giovanni player to date. I've only run into males, and they've all been backstabbing pricks. Every fucking one of them. And that should tell you something. But even then, their clan story made them backstabbing pricks. They were originally embraced in the clan Cappadocian, and then they exterminated their parent clan, diabolized their fucking parent clan, and then made a new clan. So they turned on their fucking own clan. It's like, wow. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Alright. One of the things I need to talk about with their downside, I forgot to mention with all vampires, alright? When a vampire bites you in Vampire the Masquerade, it is orgasmically pleasurable. Alright? It is supposed to be feeling immensely good. Giovanni is the opposite. It is incredibly painful. Alright?
Because they're traitors.
No one knows why, but my guess is because they're backstabbing traitors, and like reality has realized this and gone, yeah, no, F you, buddy.
The world hates you.
Like reality hates you. Done. All right. Next one down. La Sombra.
Is these the brain fuckeries?
No, these are not the brain fuckeries. Let's talk about La Sombra. Oh, all right. I have played a La Sombra. All right, let's talk about the La Sombra. La Sombra are from a Spanish area, as the name implies. All right, and they're the darkly aristocratic vampires. These guys are one of the guys who founded the Sabbat. These were one of the original bad guys. All right, and they have a discipline called obtenebration, which allows them to manipulate shadows and darkness. This allows them to see in the dark. This allows them to create big bubbles of darkness. This allows them to create tentacles of darkness, like Hunger of Hadar, if you've played 5th Ed. If you haven't played 5th Ed, it's basically Japanese adult film on horror mode. It's bad. Because imagine giant tentacles that can, rip people in half, made of shadows. Yeah, they got those. And that's their level 3 ability. And they get up to 5. 4 and 5 are essentially, I turn into level 4 is I turn into a giant shadow monster with tentacles. And 5 is, oh look, I'm just a big floating blob of shadow. And I can float away. Out of all the levels, like, 5 seems like, what? Okay. Weird. But okay. They also get superhuman strength. And I think the third one was presence, if memory serves. It might be domination. I forget. It's been a while since I've ever played a La Sombra. But it is... They are terrifying. They are a horrifying clan. And you should be very careful when one's around. Unless you're your bud.
And even then.
Alright. Then we hit Malkavian. This is the mental one, hun.
Oh, this is the I'm fucked in the head.
Yeah. Malkavian is basically you are crazy. You are mentally fucked in the head. And you are also able to take everyone else around you and make them mentally fucked in the head. Like, you are able to find all those wonderful cracks in everyone's brains and
abuse them to no end.
That's one way of putting it. I like to say they basically take the jaws of life to them. They are horrifying. They get dementation, which is basically they can spread their insanity like a plague. It is horrifying what they do. It's no. Oh God. No. No. You don't want this. Malkavians also have aspects, which allows them to see things that normally people don't see, and obfuscate, which allows them to stay hidden. So they have the perfect mix of, I'm going to basically be invisible, I'm going to see everything, and then I'm going to make everything completely batshit fucking psycho. Alright? They are exceptionally good at basically sabotaging all the basically human elements of any organization if they fucking want to. And they're damn good at it.
With no remorse.
Yeah, like some of them have zero fucking remorse. Because they were once again batshit psycho. Depending on what mental illness they have, oh my God. This is horrifying.
And they go from, okay, that's not so bad, to, oh, fucking Christ.
Yeah. Then there's the Ministry, also known as the Followers of Set, or Setites. I just call them Setites. They're snake people, if you haven't been able to guess. And their power allows them to basically do snake shit.
They have a bullshit power, though.
They can stare into people's eyes and basically paralyze you. They can lash at you with their tongue. And you may think, well, that's not that big of a deal. Except they can make their tongue 6 feet long. Like a fucking whip. Like, yeah, fuck. It's weird. Their 5th level power is honestly, in my opinion, one of the most broken fucking powers out there. They can essentially take their own heart or someone else's heart out of their fucking body, put it in a jar, and put it on their shelf.
And the person doesn't die.
And the person doesn't die. Like, the fuck?
And you have a control button for said person.
Yeah. You could be like, oh, hey, by the way, remember that time I took out your heart and put it on my shelf? Yeah? I can take that out and stab it, and you die. Like,
work for me now.
The fuck? It's like, it's one of those moments of, the fuck? Usually, if you're going to play a Setite, that's your first goal, is to get that power as fast as you can.
Take your own heart out.
Take your own heart out, and then start knocking people out and stealing their hearts, and have a heart collection somewhere that no one knows where it is. Like some sort of weird, like, serial killer.
But it just means they have to listen to you, because if they piss you off enough...
Yeah, if another vampire pisses you off enough, you take their heart out and you leave it out in the sun, and suddenly they burst into fucking flames.
In their hideout.
Yeah, it's like the hell. It is terrifying.
However, you can be a vampire and walk out in full clothing, gloves, and the umbrella and not burst into flames. As long as you're completely covered.
Not always with Setites. It depends on the situation. Setites are sensitive to light and take twice as much damage from sunlight as other kindred. That is their downside. That is the one weakness.
It's called SPF 5000?
Yeah, I don't think SPF 5000 is going to cover that. Alright, so let's cover the next one. These guys have the shittiest weakness out of everyone, and they're the hardest to play. And that's Nosferatu.
Oh god, poor Nosferatu.
Alright, Nosferatu are basically doomed to wear their bestial nature on their outside. What does that mean? They're fucking ugly. When you're embraced as a vampire as a Nosferatu, you are fucking ugly. All the time. Like, you can get like millions of dollars of plastic surgery, and you go back to being ugly.
Have you ever seen the original vampire movies that were labeled Nosferatu? That's what you look like.
Yeah. Basically, the old black and white Nosferatu movies. That's
you.
That's you. That's you, bud. Like, I'm sure I could find like some pictures. Like, Jesus Christ.
This is your hideous ass.
Nosferatu. Oh, hey, someone actually Vampire the Masquerade. Let's see if we not videos. I want images. See here. Oh wait, I'll have to go back to in-game. Here we go. This is what we got. Like this guy.
He's not even that bad.
This guy.
That's more like a Nosferatu.
That guy. Like, trust me, I'm a nice guy. This dude.
This is your standard.
Welcome to Nosferatu. Like, what the fuck is this? Welcome.
But this is their downside. But this is their really own. But
this is their only downside. And so from now on, your ass is living in the sewers. Have a nice day. All right, that is the Nosferatu. That is their downside. It is not a fun day for you. You are gonna have a horrible, horrible day. It's not gonna be fun for you. All right. That is the Nosferatu. I mean, oh my God, they are just. Oh man. Then we got Ravnos. Ravnos, my friends. These guys. Alright. These guys are based on the Romani. Alright. Yeah, ugly SOBs. And the Ravnos are reputed to be outcasts, troublesome thieves, charlatans. Basically, the Ravnos are written as the really bad stereotypes of the Romani. Alright. If you want to yell at White Wolf for being basically racist, by all means, have at it, Haas.
Because these were racist as fuck.
Yeah, these guys were racist as fuck. They have their ability.
No clip.
I don't. Their ability basically is all about illusions and causing those illusions. And the downside of that is they can make those illusions sometimes real and do damage. And it's kind of terrifying sometimes. Ravnos can be some of the most powerful guys. But that is their one thing.
They're kind of one-horse ponies.
They're kind of they can be really powerful, but they can also be really weak. Their downside is they have to have a vice, and they have to indulge in that vice frequently. Whether it's drinking, or gambling, or sex, or drugs, or something, they have to engage in some sort of viceful behavior, and daily, essentially. It's kind of ridiculous. But it is what it is. It's kind of dumb, but whatever. You kind of deal with it. Then we got Toreador. These guys. Alright?
The pretty boys.
The pretty boys. Alright? Toreador. These are the sensitive, artistic, and sometimes debauched hedonists. They are fascinated by the mortal world and its artistic creations. These guys are super, super social. They're damn good at social. That's kind of their shtick. Alright? They've always been good at social. They always will be good at social. And I don't think that's ever going to change. I think that, that was their shtick, and they were good at it. Their weakness is anytime they see something that they find particularly beautiful, it immobilizes them. It captivates them. They're like, oh, pretty. And that's for a short while. It's not like forever. It's just like for a few seconds. They're like, oh, hey, that's really kind of cool. Wait, what fuck? It is what it is. I've dealt with some Toreadors that are kind of, most part, been pretty chill. Some have been kind of asshole-ish, but
that's vampire in general.
that's vampire in general. Actually, most Nosferatu players I've run into have been really cool. I will say that. Ravnos has been a mixed bag. I will say that. Settites have been usually manipulative dicks, but not backstabbing, but manipulative. Malkavians have been... Oh! That every time I've run into a Malkavian player, or I've played a Malkavian on several occasions, it has always been like...
It's a roller coaster.
It's a roller coaster with the player. Whether that or you play as them, and it's just like, oh my god, man, you're going to have a fun day. The next one. Alright, remember I said that the Giovanni were the kings of fucking backstabbing? I'd like to introduce you to the runner-ups. The Tremere.
Oh, fuck. The political ones.
Not the political ones. No, these are the someone embraced a bunch of D&D geeks and told them their magic was real.
Oh.
Yeah, these guys. They're a clan of blood sorcerers that originally belonged to the Order of Hermes, and they suddenly became vampires instead. They have thaumaturgy, and they fucking...
use it.
They defend it religiously, and they fucking keep it defended hard, and they do not want others to know it exists. Or not know it exists, want to know how it works. They want people to know it exists because they want to terrify people to fuck with it, but they don't want other people to know the secrets of it, how to make it work. Where Giovanni are the kings of fucking stabbing people in the back, for at least my experience, and their story has definitely fully proved that shit. Tremeres are...
stabbing you in the front.
Are the kings of stabbing you in general, at least with magic. Like, my experience with Tremere players has usually been along the lines of, they're gonna fucking stab you in the back too.
Except they won't do it behind your back. They'll let you know they're gonna do it.
No, they'll do it behind your back. But they'll be super secretive about it to the point where you're like, yeah, I know this backstabbing's coming because they're being super fucking secretive. And they're hiding in their fucking cabal books shit. It's like, let's go. It's just like, goddamn guys, come on. You're being super obvious. You're being super sus. Jesus Christ.
And sometimes they do that just to piss with you.
Alright. Now, Tremere don't always want to be in power. They don't always want to be the prince of the city. But 9 times out of 10, they want to be having the prince's ear. Alright? So, you may not...
But they want to be the puppet master.
You may not always see them as the leader of the city, but you'll always see them as the inner circle. You always see one in there somewhere. If you don't, you're not looking hard enough. Alright? That's to be brutally honest. That is Tremere. Then we got... Oh, these guys. Oh, no. Oh, fucking hell. Zamisi. Hi, Zamisi. How are you going? Alright. These guys meld flesh and bone like you and me would meld Play-Doh. And they are weird like that. They can turn bone into swords. They can, like, make bone armor. They can meld together multiple bodies together to make this thing called a Schlachta, which is this giant flesh golem thing, and send it off to fucking fight for them. It is terrifying.
Necromancers meet your opponents.
Yeah, if you want to deal with Clan Giovanni, your best bet is probably to get one of these guys and go, yo, you can't manipulate the dead if it ain't fucking dead. Because they can keep people alive and meld them together. And that's terrifying. Even their furniture in their homes sometimes is still alive. It's people. It is like, what the fuck is going... like, oh, here we go. Here's an example. Their furniture. Because that's not terrifying to walk into. Yeesh. Alright. And the last clan we're going to be talking about for Vampire, because Jesus Christ. Ventru. I might just get through the vampires today. I might not even get a chance to talk about all of WoD. Alright. Ventru. These are the richy rich vampires. These are the
ones that are typically the prince.
These are the well-to-do. These are usually the prince or the money behind the prince. These are the guys who have a lot of money. They have a lot of influence. They have a lot of politics behind them. They are the kings and queens of vampires. They do not mess around. They are really good at manipulating people. Alright? Their weakness is they can only drink from a particular type of person, whether that be virgins, blondes, youngest siblings. They have to pick a rule. Alright? That's their thing. They have refined palates, and they have to stay to that. But that's their weakness. But with enough money, that's usually sometimes not a problem. So those are the old clans. Though that is old WoD Vampire. All right.
And there's the weird ones that shouldn't technically exist that they don't want to admit exist.
So that's Vampire. All right. So we covered Vampire.
Old WoD Vampire.
Old WoD Vampire. So they're like, okay, that doesn't sound too bad. Like, a vampire can take on several humans. Not usually a lot, but 3, maybe 4 humans. And then it starts having some issues. Let's talk about the next guys. Alright? Which make humans have some slight issues. Let's talk about werewolves. Alright? Or as some people refer to them in Old WoD, the 9-foot tall, hairy balls of Hurt Me.
I thought you were going to do new WoD.
I have all the old WoDs here.
Okay.
Oh wait, that's new WoDs. Damn it. Is that new WoD? Yeah, that's new WoD. This is old WoD. Oh, I kind of want to compare all the old WoD stuff first, and then I'll do new WoD.
Okay. Wasn't sure.
Because new WoD does...
back and forth if we were going to compare vampires to vampires.
Yeah, fine. Let's compare vampires to vampires. Never mind. Fucking A. Alright, so we'll compare new WoD vampires real quick. Alright. Luckily, new WoD has simplified things. Alright? So let's talk about the new WoD vampires. 1, take that, Christian religion thing. Out the window it goes. Alright? They got rid of only 2 sects. Now they have clans and covenants. Alright? There are multiple groups called covenants, which are replace the sects, and they only have 5 clans now. Alright? The clans are the Deva, which kind of replaced the Bruja. It's like a mixture of the Bruja and the Toreador combined. Alright? So, I think it's called Vampire the Requiem. Requiem. And we're doing Deva. I don't want Bloodwines. I just want Deva. Give me Deva. Alright. Hi, Deva. This is a Deva. Not the Deva, but a Deva. Here's another one. Devas are a mixture of Toreador and Bruja. So, they're very passionate. They're very strong. But they're also very sensual. So, it's a mixture of the two. It works.
Angry sex is a thing with these people.
Yeah, angry sex. Yep. Angry sex can be a thing. Angry sex can be a thing. Like, there you go. There's another version of a Deva. So, go figure. Then, they brought back the Gangrel. Gangrel are back. I don't know why it keeps wanting me to look up Gangrel bloodlines. I do not care. The Gangrel are back. And they really haven't changed much. Other than, every time they frenzy, they don't get a bestial trait. Hurrah.
But they aren't quite as freaky.
Yeah, they don't get as weird. But they still have a lot of animalistic shit to them. And it's not great.
They're still the druids.
Then we have the Maquette. The Maquette are a mixture of La Sombra and, like, Nosferatu. Except they don't... Not Nosferatu. La Sombra and... I want to say Tremere? They're occultists. So they have their, like, kind of the Tremere motif. But they also have the ability to control shadows and stuff. So it's kind of a mix between the two. Nosferatu are back. They're about the same. And the Ventrue are back. And they're also about the same. So nothing different with those two.
This is just not... This setting's not quite as dark as...
It's not as religious. Is more of the thing. Now we got the Carthian. The Carthians. Alright? We got the Carthians, and of course you're going to be giving me a super small fucking picture that's not going to be super helpful. That is not going to be a thing. Thanks, guys. Is this? That's not helpful either, whoever that is. Alright, open image and new tab. Here we go. Alright, meet the Carthian book, alright? The best way to describe the Carthians is they do not like... basically authority. They want to rebel against the authority. They're like the old anarchs. They're like, screw authority. We're best for... They want to base it on democracy. They want to base it on the mortal systems like democracy, fascism, things of that nature. They elect their leaders, and they're the newest major covenant. Alright? So this is the covenant. You'll see that it's the most like any human group at all. End of discussion. Then you have the Circle of the Crone, which if I can get another picture would be super nice. Of course not. You're going to be a pain. Alright, Circle of the Crone. These are pagan and neo-pagan cults and religions in the vampire culture. So you're going to see a lot of witchcraft. You're going to see a lot of, you know, kind of almost Nordic shit involved in it. A lot of some Native American rituals involved. It's mixing a lot of older religions into it. Alright? And also older magics. So some of the rituals actually work. So that's something to keep in mind. Like, it's kind of creepy. But it does work. It's a thing. Alright. Circle of the Crone, by the way, does not get along with the Chaos Sanctum, which I'll describe later. Carthian movement, by the way, does not get along with the Invictus, which I'll describe later on as well. Two of the groups do not get along with the other two groups. That's usually a thing. Alright. So we discussed that. Now let's talk about the Invictus. Alright. The Invictus. If the symbol alone wasn't kind of a fucking giveaway, these guys are like the Romans. They like order. They like maintaining those orders. Old nobility. Everything has to be in a proper place. They're also concerned with material gain and power. And they are involved in city politics and business. Okay?
This is mostly the Ventrue.
There's quite a few Ventrue in this group that are like, yes, these guys. These guys and the Carthians do not like each other. Not a thing. Alright? they can't. They usually 9 times out of 10 don't get along unless there's something like overarching over their heads that mutually makes them go, let's work together to not die. Other than that, they tend not to be friendly.
They tend to try and murder each other on sight.
Because their ideals are opposite. Alright, so let's talk about the next group, Lycaean Sanctum. If, once again, this symbol wasn't enough of a friggin' clue, these are the Christian vampires. Alright? These guys fully believe that Longinus stabbed Christ with a spear and became the first vampire and made all the other vampires. Where the other groups, not so much. Like Circle of Crone believed that it was like vampires were natural, part of the world. Invictus doesn't seem to give a shit. Carthians seemed like Carthians and Invictus like, we don't care where vampires came from. We're just here. Let's just do our thing. Alright. So Lycaean Sanctum is the Christian vampires, and them in the Circle of Crone really, really, really do not like each other. They duke it out frequently.
To the point where they can't really even work together for a greater cause to keep themselves alive.
It takes a lot to make those two actually, play nice with each other. It really does. And lastly, the Odo Dracul. The Odo Dracul believes that their grandsire, the first of their group, was Dracula. Not exaggerating.
Truth behind this?
It's probably accurate.
6 in one, half a dozen in the other.
He might have been the one that founded their movement. May not be the first vampire, but might have founded their movement. And they're focusing on studying understanding the vampiric condition. They want to improve upon it and transcend its limitations. Unlike the others, which are like, oh, we want political power, or we want more magic, or more this and more that, the Odo Dracul's like, fuck it, let's evolve as vampires and be better fucking predators. It's like, shit.
Think a bunch of biologists, biochemists, geneticists, so on and so forth, with practically unlimited funding, looking at how to make things more effective with very little moral compass.
Yeah, it is just like, oh, that's not good at all. And that's New Wad Vampire. They have some villains. They have some relatively the same weaknesses. So not really much change there. So that's to be kept in check. All right.
They're a lot simpler than the old Wad.
Yeah. So let's talk about now.
Big balls of fucking hurt me.
Yeah, let's talk about this one. Werewolf. If I could type today, would be nice. Werewolf, the Apocalypse. Let's talk about these guys. Oh boy. These big boys. Alright. Say hi to these guys. Otherwise known as the 9-foot-tall hairy balls of Hurt Me. Alright. Now remember earlier I said that one vampire can take on 3 to 4 humans fairly easily, especially if they're combat built. If they're combat built, you might get 5 or 6. A werewolf that is not combat built can take on 7 to 8 humans. Alright? Easily. On their own. A werewolf that is combat built could take on 10 vampires.
And it'll be a draw.
I will repeat this again. A werewolf who is combat built in Old Wad can take on 10 vampires. 10. Because they are that fucking good at killing shit. Alright? It is fucking ridiculous. Alright? It is nuts. Alright? Now, how it works is you are just born a werewolf. Alright? You don't have to be bit by a werewolf. Nothing happens. You are just naturally born a fucking werewolf. It's a genetic thing. One of your parents happens to be a werewolf. All right. Now you could have been born a human. You could have been born a wolf. If you were born from 2 werewolves, there's this thing called a metis, and you're a freak of fucking nature. And good luck at living long enough to actually fucking become one. All right. Where vampires are basically trying to survive and just do their own kind of thing, werewolves are all about fighting for Earth, or they refer to it as Gaia, and they're trying to fight a horrifying, what's the word I'm looking for? Corruption creature called the Worm. All right, they believe that vampires are creatures of the worm. There's also pollution that's infections of the worm, and a few other fun things, like there are evil werewolves called Black Spiral Dancers. They are creatures of the worm, and they're also worm spirits and all kinds of fucking horrible things. And they're trying to maintain the world, at least at some level, so that way the end of the world doesn't happen, because if the apocalypse happens, all the werewolves will get together and fight the worm to the death. And they all know they're going to lose. But they're going to fucking fight it anyway. Yeah. That is a fucking thing. Alright. So they have 5 forms. Alright. They have
5 variants.
five forms they can take in the game. They have Hamid, which is human. No stat changes, completely indistinguishable from other humans. Glabro, which is near human, which is, you kind of resemble like a Neanderthal. You're just really big and fucking hairy, and you have kind of like the curled brow and shit.
You're a really hairy human.
You're a really hairy human. You have Lupus, which is you're a wolf. Alright? You look like a normal wolf. You're a Hispo. You're a dire wolf, which is you're a really fucking big wolf. Alright? And people are going to notice you're a big fucking wolf. And then you have the fucking thing that really stands out and gets people to notice you, Krynos, which is, when we say werewolf, this is what we talk about. This big fucking honking thing right here. This is Krynos. Alright? This honking boy.
The big ball of fucking hurt me.
This is the big ball of fucking hurt me. Because this thing will fucking kill. Jesus Christ.
Stop it.
Alright, it usually grows to about 9 feet tall, made of pure muscle. And this is for fighting. Any weak-willed human that sees this form will resort to genetic memory and will go into pure terror and fear, known as delirium, and will fucking run.
GTFO, man.
They're like, fuck this, I'm out. It's, you are meeting face-to-face an apex predator, and you know it's fucking gunning for your booty.
It's like meeting a tiger or a great white shark face-to-face and your dinner.
Alright, so those are the forms. Then you got to figure out what moon you were born under for your character. Ragabash were born under the new moon, and you were all about being a trickster. You question the ways of how things are done. Alright? You excel at basically subterfuge and hidden stealth. Alright?
Sneaky.
And you're sneaky. Theurge, Garu, are born under the waxing or waning crescent moon, and they're like the shamans. They're the spellcasters. Philodox are born under the quarter of the half moon. They're the keeper of the ways. They're like the mediators, the counselors, they're the talkers. Gilliards are born under the waxing or the waning gibbous moon, and they are the bards and the teachers. They're basically the storytellers and things of that nature. And the Arun are born under full moon, and they are the fucking warriors. They are the, I'm gonna fucking hit things.
We're the biggest, baddest of the bunch.
And the way this game works is you need to basically not only do cool shit and earn XP, but you also, when you do cool shit, you gotta tell a cool story afterwards about the cool shit you did to earn renown, to earn the ability to get abilities. So it's not only like, or someone has to tell that story for you. So, like, you need someone, like, if you're not good at telling stories, you need someone who's good at telling stories to witness your cool shit.
This is where if you're best friends with a bard, you're golden.
Yeah, like if you're best friends with, like the whole Witcher thing, like, the Witcher's going out and doing cool shit, the bard that's following him around, you need that. Alright?
That needs to be your best friend.
Yeah, it needs to be your best friend. Alright, in this case, we're also going to cover tribes real quick. You got the Black Furies, a tribe of solely female Garu, alright? They're like mythical Amazons. I don't know what happened to the male versions of the Black Furies. I don't want to know. Sometimes it's better not to ask questions. Alright? It's just like,
Don't piss these people off.
Yeah. Yeah, the Black Furies. These girls. Oh, yeah. I don't know who they are. I don't know what they've done. They're men, but something has happened to them. Then you got the Bone Gnars. These are the city werewolves, okay? These are the guys that kind of hang out in the cities. They stay relatively quiet. They tend to reside in the poor and the slum areas, right? They're kind of the cool thing. Then you got the Children of Gaia. Oh, yeah. The Children of Gaia are relatively peaceful. They try to, be kind to people. And they try to, not start fights because they think that maybe that is the way to stave off the apocalypse. That's their idea. Not always the best, but hey.
They're the hippies.
Then you got the Fianna, which are the Irish werewolves. So, it's like, come at me, laddie, because I'm gonna fuck you up.
Danny, bad picture.
There's nothing wrong.
For a second it looked off.
No, there's no...
Sorry, it looked funny for a second.
Yeah, there's the Fianna front cover. There's the Fianna front cover. There you go. But yeah, they're like, come at me, laddie, I'm gonna fuck you up. They're the Celtic people, and they're just... They take no shit. Get a Fenris. Oh boy, yeah, get a Fenris. Yeah, the Get a Fenris. How do I describe these guys?
These are the Children of Fenrir.
Not, well, yes and no. They're Vikings, with Germanic roots and physical strength and fighting prowess. They have come to head with other tribes who disagree with their warmongering ways. These are the guys that want to go to war. These are the guys that want to go to war all the goddamn time. Wartime is all the time. Their symbol also is not exactly the best symbol, hun.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's like, guys, you might want to redraw that at some point. Might be an idea.
It's not too terrible because it's far enough off.
I know, but it's close enough that it's like... Then you get the Glasswalkers, which are the city werewolves, which is like, hi, I really like tech. Let's do this.
They're the upper class city werewolves.
Yep. Let's see. Red Talons. Red Talons, I think, are... Let's see. Which one's Red Talons, if memory serves? Oh, they're the lupus-only werewolves. They do not like the humies. They're not friends with the humies. They don't like it. Shadow Lords and the Silverfangs do not get along for some stupid reason. I do not remember why. Forgive me on that one. But Shadow Lords are weird. I don't get it. But yeah, Shadow Lords are Slavic Garu who want to usurp the Silverfangs as society leaders. And they're a Japanese sect of Shadow Lords resembling a Japanese sect of Geru resembling resembling the Shadow Lords are known as the Haken and hold the Bushido important. Neat. Then you got the Silent Striders, which are Egyptian. So you got Egyptian werewolves. That could be kind of cool. Silver Fangs, which are currently the leaders. These are the guys running everything currently. And they are Russian, apparently. Members of the royal family. Stargazers are Hindu origin, believe in astrology. Uktena are Native American werewolves, and the Wendigo are the younger brother of the Native American guru. And they're like the northern tribes. And there are several extinct tribes as well that are just like, they fought so hard they're dead. And that is the Old Wad werewolves. So, that is kind of crazy. Like, their whole shtick was like, we're going to fight until we die. And the downside with Old Wad werewolf, I have to say, is...
There was no possible happy light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, it was not even there. That was all of Old Wad. There was no light at the end of the tunnel. It was more like...
No, there was. It was the oncoming fucking train.
Old Wad werewolf, it was one of the more beautiful things I enjoyed about Old Wad, was you had to trust everybody in your pack. There was no backstabbing, like with everything else in Old Wad. It was very much like, you're a team. You had to work together. They're your brothers and sisters. Fight as a group. But the problem was, hey, werewolf number 462 has died. Werewolf number 463, please step up and fight the worm. Like, every one of your characters was, like, 100% completely expendable. It was just horrible. It sucked. That was the only biggest downside I had with that. Like, everything else was beautiful. Like, you had to work as a team. Everybody was there.
Different.
And it was just like, fuck you. You're
All the different move phases had importance in the group.
Yeah, everybody had a purpose. But then it was like, yeah, oh, you're dead. Then we got Werewolf the Forsaken. Alright. Werewolf the Forsaken is the new WoD version. Alright? Where they fixed some things, but they broke a few others. Alright? They fixed a major problem, which was, the whole werewolf number 462, please fight the worm. Oh, you're died. Werewolf 463, please step up and fight the worm. They got rid of that. Alright? The big enemy in the new werewolf is evil spirits that have gone kilter.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, it's not terrible. It's not a bad idea. You have evil spirits that are not obeying the rules, and you have to deal with them. They're attacking people. They're killing. They're possessing people. They're doing all kinds of stuff. And the werewolves actually have a code of honor, which I appreciate. Which is, a wolf must hunt. So it's like you have to do your thing. Like you have to have roles of fulfill the roles of Father Wolf. Makes sense. The people do not murder the people. Basically, werewolves don't kill other werewolves. The low honor the high respect the low. That's a good way to, make sure that people don't abuse power, and that the people under the, the people in power don't rise up and kill people.
It was logical.
The Uratha shall cleave to human. The Uratha are forbidden to mate with wolves and are mandated to reproduce. So you have to basically sleep with humans. Do not eat the flesh of human or wolf. Makes sense.
And also the not sleeping with other wolves, given the fact that you create a monstrosity.
Yeah. And the last one is the herd must not know. Basically, werewolves have to stay hidden from humans. All these rules make simple sense. They're all simple. They're all very straightforward. It works. And it makes werewolves not a dick. I mean, am I wrong? The auspices stayed the same. It was like full moon were still warriors. Gibbous moon were still war keepers. The half moon were still diplomats. The crescent moon were still war, like spellcasters and war keepers and stuff. And the new moon were still like scouts, spies, and tricksters and shit. So, still cool. The tribes were lessened. They lessened the sheer number of tribes. So, it was like, thank God for that. Because, Jesus Christ, we had too many of them. If I could type today, would be nice. Did I type? Yeah. So, the first one we had was Blood Talents. Say hi to the Blood Talents. Alright? The phrase for the Blood Talents is, offer no surrender that you would not accept. That is a good statement. They're warriors. They're a tribe of primarily warriors. And their favorite prey is other werewolves. They mainly go after werewolves who...
Betrayed the orders.
Yeah, usually betrayed the orders. They're like, you kind of gone cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. We're dealing with you.
These were the werewolf executioners.
So that is their shtick. And that's what they deal with. And they're not bad. They're good. They take on the hard foes, and that is their stick.
They take care of the werewolves who are traitor to their own kind.
Yeah. Then you got Bone Shadows. And their statement is, pay each spirit in kind. Their favorite prey is spirits. They go after the evil spirits, of course. And they work with good spirits to try to keep them appeased to the best of their ability.
Make good spirits happy to off bad spirits.
Yeah. You got Hunters in Darkness, which was... let no sacred space in your territory be violated. Their favorite prey is hosts. What I mean by host is a spirit will possess a being. That being is a host. So, the Bone Shadow will go after the spirit. The Hunter in Darkness will go after the host.
They typically team up.
Yeah, in that case, that would be a team up. Because they'd be like, let's shatter the host because the host is toast. There's nothing to do to save him. It is what it is. Sometimes the host is a human, sometimes it's not. Depends on what the host is. Then you got Iron Masters. It's like, honor your territory in all things. Alright? Their favorite prey is humans, along with the creatures that hide among them. The reason why they say that is because they deal with vampires, they deal with mages, they deal with all the fun fucking fucky-wucky shit that hides amongst that shit.
The changelings.
These are the guys, these are the werewolves that deal with all the other fucking supernatural shit. That is mostly what they're supposed to be dealing with, is their tribe. That's their focus. Alright? At least that's their main focus. Then we got Storm Lords. Alright? And it's like, allow no one to witness or to tend your weakness. I don't particularly care for these guys because they're a little self-righteous, but hey, whatever. And their favorite prey is spirit-ridden or spirit-claimed material objects and creatures that have become possessed by spirits.
These are the guys you'll find in a cemetery.
Yeah, these are guys like in... Yeah, she's right. Cemeteries, haunted houses, shit like that, where they're like trying to fuck around, like spirits trying to fuck around with someone, but are not messing with a person or an animal directly. Sometimes, like, if they're out in the woods. Like, if it's in an area that they can deal with a little bit more directly. Sometimes they'll work with other things like a Blood Talent or a Bone Shadow. Sometimes they'll work with a Hunter in Darkness. It is what it is. Now, there's another tribe called the Ghost Wolves. They've never joined a tribe. So, there's the thing. You don't have to join a tribe. You're not born into a tribe. You join one. Which is another cool thing from the previous version I liked. It was different. The versions of werewolf forms are the same.
I think the name has changed.
The name's just changed, but it's about the same. There's no real difference other than in war form, which is in Old WoD it was called Krynos, and this form is called Guru. They automatically enter in a death rage, which means they either have to kill something or be killed.
Kill or destroy.
Yeah, kill or destroy. So they have to break something or kill something.
No exceptions. Do
Yeah.
not get between it and its target.
Yeah. It is what it is. So a lot of werewolves, unless they know they're definitely going to be killing something, will not enter this form. It's fucking bad juju. Just don't fucking do it. Alright? And that's really it. Mostly it's the spirits that they're issued. There's another group called the Pure. Instead of the Black Spiral Dancers, there are enemy werewolves called the Pure, which are all about saying, oh, I want to be working with the old Father Wolf. And saying that we want to bring back the old days. And they're obsessed with purity. And they want to basically bring themselves to the top of the food chain. And leave their human side as far back as possible. And there's a few others that are just crazy, like, bad for them. But that's New WoD, werewolves, and vampires. I mean, that is that. I'm not going to go into much detail about some of the others because I don't know them as well. So I'm going to cover a couple of them really quick. Because next week I might cover some of the other groups that I know better. I'm going to cover Mage in like quick passing because I have a cursory knowledge of it. Alright? So, Mage the Ascension and Mage... What's the other one called? The Awakening. I don't know much about these two. I just know that...
reality bending bullshit.
Yeah, they're both reality bending bullshit. The more you bend reality, the more reality bitch smacks your ass back. Alright? And holy crap, can it get wild. I played a Mage once. It was kind of fun. I sort of enjoyed it. But I didn't get to do it for very long, so it is what it is. I wouldn't mind trying it one day. I've never gotten to play Wraith, so I have no knowledge on Wraith. I can't give you really any education on that. I'm sorry. Next week I'm going to cover Changeling, the Dreaming, so I'll cover that one.
You want to talk about fucking weird? Vampires are bad, changelings are worse.
Yeah. So we'll cover Changeling, the difference between old and new WoD Changeling next week. Trust me, there's some differences there, big ones. And same with Hunter. Hunter went through some major changes through old WoD and new WoD. And it is what it is. Mummy the Resurrection. The closest one that it was similar to in new WoD was Geist. And I honestly think Geist came out the better for it. But the one I do want to talk about this week is Demon the Fallen. Alright.
The book that broke the system.
The book that broke the system. Jesus Christ. Alright. So, welcome to essentially... remember how I said werewolves could take on 10 vampires? A demon could probably take on 10 werewolves. If they're built right. Jesus Christ. Like, these guys are wholly powerful. But what'd you expect from literally a fallen angel? Like, these things are stupidly powerful. They basically, you have to choose a house and then you have to choose a faction. Alright? So the houses are Defilers. Their angels were given dominion over the seas. They were given artistic expression. They're first to succumb to Hell's isolation. Devious seducers of dark muses. So they're kind of social characters. Devils are, Jesus Christ. They can be damaging, especially against vampires. Because they get lures of Celestial, Flame, and Radiance, alright? Flame and Radiance, lures are basically their powers, alright? Lures for Defilers are Longing, Storms, and Transmutation. So, Longing is all about social power. So you can manipulate people socially. Storms is straight up wind, lightning, and rain. What it sounds like. And Transmutation is straight up, they're going to turn one thing into another thing. Relatively straightforward. Devils are straight up like Celestials. That's kind of some neat tricks that you get in some there. But what makes them scary for vampires is Flame and Radiance. Flame is just straight up, I got a lot of fire, and it's going to fucking burn the fuck out of you.
This is where they come up with the spell Fireball.
Yeah, you get Fireball. You get Halo of Flame. You get all kinds of crazy stuff. Radiance is like, hi, I just made sunlight. Have a nice fucking day. It is terrifying. Then you got Devourers, which are Angels of the Wild. They get the ability to increase their strength, their reflexes, their senses, as well as take the form of animals. Alright? And they're violent and impulsive and shit like that. When I said these guys could take on 10 werewolves, this is the group I'm talking about. I've seen stat-wise a Devourer literally pick up a werewolf and just go, yoink, I rip in half. In Tabletop. I was just like, holy shit. There was just like, no way.
This is the group I think they wrote to destroy Old Wad.
Yeah, every now and then, a company will write a book to...
Specifically to tank a game.
Specifically to tank a game. Like in 3.5, it was the Book of Nine Swords. In this game, I think it was honestly Demon the Fallen. Because if you try mixing Demon the Fallen with any other book, Demon is going to raffle stomp the other book.
And the other books you could intermix depending on what characters you were allowed to play.
Fiends have the ability to give them dominion over time, light, and the ability to teleport through doorways. So if that's not terrifying enough, they can basically jump between doorways. They can also, age something 1,000 years in the future or de-age it 1,000 years in the past. Have fun with that. Jesus Christ. Malefactor. Let's see, what was their lore? I keep forgetting what their lore was. Oh, they were the builders. This is the one I played. I played a demon called Hephistriel, was his name. And he was a malefactor. And I was making inventions like left and right. I built little sun grenades and little black hole bombs and stuff that were like little temporary black holes. And Jesus Christ, it was terrifying. If I had enough time ahead of time, I could build anything.
This was the fuck this system book.
Yeah, it was like, the only thing that limited you was literally your imagination and your storyteller, which is your DM. Literally, those two factors were the only things that limited you. This book let you get away with anything. Like,
Morals, what are those?
Scourge, was it? What was Scourge? They were once guardian angels, brave fighters. Oh yeah, they can heal with the right hand, harm with the left. Cool thing you can do with Scourge, alright? Their healing power, alright? And this is what makes them horrifying. I can go walk up to someone and go, I spend 2 faith, which is their energy source. Which you can get faith by making deals with people. I spend 2 faith, I walk up, and I heal someone. And by the way, you only have like 7 health, is the average human. Alright? That's the average human. I walk up and I touch someone, and I heal them 7 health. Alright? I fully heal them. I also cure them of any disease.
I remove their cancer.
I remove their cancer, in this case. They could have stage 3 cancer. I walk up...
Stage 4 cancer.
Or stage 4 cancer. I walk up, touch them. It's gone. Alright? I have that mystical power. I walk up with my left hand. Touch someone else. They're perfectly healthy. Spend 2 faith. They now have stage 4 cancer. And they're about 2 days away from dying. Or hell, I can make it 2 minutes if I fucking wanted to. That's how broken this system is. I could walk up to werewolves and do that. And be like, there you go. You have 5 seconds to live. Have a nice day. Fuck you, buddy.
Mages, poke. Same thing.
Yeah, it was just like, Demon the Fallen. If I could type today.
It is broken bullshit.
Yeah, Demon the Fallen. This book. This book got, I swear to God, this book almost got White Wolf into trouble. Like, I'm honestly surprised that, like, their offices weren't burned to the fucking ground. Like, Christ.
The Book of Broken Bullshit.
And then the last one is Slayers. Slayers are, like, basically angels.
Angels of Death.
Angels of Death. They have the power to enter Shadowlands, commune and control ghosts, sever the spirit from the body, and create zombies. So not only do they kill your fucking ass, they raise your body as a zombie.
You're now a flesh puppet.
Yeah, as Sam just put it, you're now a flesh puppet. Like, they just killed you in front of your family and then turned you into a fucking meat puppet. Because that's not fucking terrifying. Then you got the factions, which were the cryptics. They said, they used their time to hell to think. They say, like, God was omniscient and the creations would be perfect if the reality would allow, as reality would allow. And since Lucifer was God's highest angel, the rebellion was part of God's plan, and just let things go and, like, you know, look through things and all that jazz. Gather knowledge on what to do next.
These are the bookkeepers.
And they want to ask questions. They dislike the Luciferians and Faustians, approve the Reconcilers, asking questions, and dislike the Raveners' destructive tendencies. They just want to ask questions, like, a lot. Faustians, they lust for revenge against God. They're like, fuck God. Let's even without leadership of Lucifer, we want to, you know, fight God. Fuck that. All right. Then you got Luciferians, which are like, Lucifer was right to rebel against God. They want to follow his directives, and they want to find him though. They still want to find him. So they're looking for him. And they're trying to do that. Raveners are just like, hey, let's just fucking kill everything and break everything. Fuck it. Woo! Reconcilers are like, oh, maybe we've done the wrong thing and God has punished us. And maybe if we just basically atone for our misdeeds, God will let us back. It's like, fucking Christ. And so there is that.
Book of Broken Bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, and by the way, it does say when a demon host is slain, the demon is not killed. It just immediately has to be find a new host, or be pulled back into the abyss. One, the demon has to be devoured by another demon, or second, a ritual is performed by members of the Inquisition to unmake a high torment demon. Leaves low torment demons unaffected. So basically, as long as you're not evil, like you're not doing a bunch of evil shit and you're a good demon, essentially, because torment is determining how evil you are, you can't fucking be killed permanently unless you're done by another demon. So when we say this is the Book of Broken Bullshit, we ain't fucking exaggerating. Like, oh my fucking God.
We can't get rid of you.
Yeah, getting rid of you is not fucking likely. It's just like...
I read through this. We played a mixed game. And somebody wanted to play a demon. We read through this book and went, no.
Yeah. We were playing a mixed New WoD game. And someone brought up, hey, can we translate Demon the Fallen into New WoD? And I just looked at it and went, no. And then everybody's like, you haven't even read through the book. And I'm like, I played through the fucking book. I know what it fucking does. But... Anne wanted to read through it, and several other people wanted to read through it. I was like, okay. So I cracked out my copy of Demon the Fallen. I put it on the table, and I was like...
I speed read it.
It was like, you guys read it, and tell me that, you know... Like, I'll tell you what. I told everybody, I was like, I'll tell you what. You guys read this, and I'll make a villain with this book. if you think you could survive the villain with this book, we can use this. And everybody who was at the game at the time read it and went, nah, fuck that. like, nope. Fuck this.
I actually took your book and threw it across the room going, nope, burn it with fire.
Yeah. That was game 1. We had 12 players at the time for that game. That was the first time I ran the mixed WoD game. That was with Varen, Ty,
Hunter, Vampire, Changeling, Werewolf.
TJ, Madison was there. Yeah, a few other people were there.
We had a Geist. That was, I think Madison tried to play Geist.
No, Madison was a Changeling.
Okay, like me.
Yeah, Madison was a Changeling.
We had a Geist in that.
Yeah, I was, me.
Okay.
I was the Geist.
That was a really screwy
It was
group.
like, it was a mixed group, and it was a fun group, don't get me wrong, but it was just like, they looked at that book, and most people read that, and I pointed out that one particular section of banishment and death, and it was like, have fun with that.
If you're not completely and utterly psychotically evil, we can't get rid of you permanently.
Yeah. I can make a villain that literally has 0 fucking torment. It's not hard. And they're like, fuck, we can't kill it at that point. Yeah, it would literally torture you for fucking ever.
Like, nope.
All he's got to do is, every time he does an evil act, he goes and does a good thing. Like, for every point of torment he gets, he goes out and does, like, charity work and shit.
Yeah, it's that easy.
It's that fucking easy. It was just like, this book was that broken. And I was just like, you guys cannot believe how insane this book was. And then there was a LARP version of this book.
Which was even worse.
Yeah, I think it was City of Angel, or was it Saviors and Destroyers? I forget what it was called. There was a LARP version of the book that was released at some point. I forget the name of it.
Fucking worse.
And it was worse. It was just like, hi, I have a billion fucking stats, and I'm literally going to use them all to fucking kill everyone. It was just like, my fucking god. It was just craziness. It was just wild fucking crazy shit. And I could not fucking believe it. I just couldn't. It was just like, god damn.
So bad.
Oh man. Whew. Alright. So we've gone through what we could for WoD tonight. I'll go over some more next week, where we're going to be covering, what are we covering next week? We're going to cover Changeling and Hunter. Changeling and Hunter. And for new WoD, we're going to be covering new version Changeling, new version Hunter, and Geist. Oh, there's a new version demon called the Descent.
No.
Oh, that's going to be terrifying.
I don't want to deal with that shit.
Ah, yeah, that's a fuck no. Alright. So, with that being said, everyone, I do thank you for attending the stream. Those of you who watched, or if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe on YouTube. If you're on Twitch, please follow us on Twitch. That helps us out. We stream every Monday and Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. What else is there to say? Other than, you know,
Have fun.
if you have fun, if you're having issues, hey, people are here. We can listen. We're here to talk. I mean, we talk about gaming, we talk about crafting, but hey, we're here to have a discussion. We're all here to have a fun time and chit chat and all that shit. And I'm here to educate people on gaming and stuff. So that's what I'm here to do. So you guys have fun doing whatever hobby you're doing, alright? And find enjoyment in it.
Damn it, every time my skin twitches. Sorry.
You guys have fun enjoying whatever hobby it is. Whether it's sewing, calligraphy, crocheting, gaming, cooking, whatever. You do whatever makes you happy, especially in these times. Alright? You are cared for. And I guarantee you, there's someone out there who loves you very much. Alright? You keep that in mind. Alright. You guys have a great night. I'm going to be signing off. Toodles.